the first thing she does when she gets here, if she's brought back, is get on welfare and suck at my taxes and everybody else's taxes. She made her bed, she must lie in it. She must stay where she is. More fool her. I'm fed up with all these people. No, sorry. You stay where you are, sweetheart.
Sometimes a meme speaks so much truth, right? We all knew that slippery Starmer's election as a socialist accidental Prime Minister of our United Kingdom would herald the moment our enemies were allowed back in. Indeed, I'll never forget that when Starmer was honest about his feelings, he argued that one of Britain's biggest traitors should be welcomed back with open arms.
Was by the Home Secretary was the wrong decision, and I think it was a rushed decision. And I think it left out of account the interests of the newly born child who's tragically died. Had the interests of the child been taken properly into account, I think we would see that this was a wrong decision and a rushed decision by the Home Secretary. Well, he's got Ken did a lot of cases, as I did, under the Terrorism Act. He knows exactly what can be done back here. I think what he says is right. I think actually the Home Secretary needs to come to Parliament tomorrow, make a statement on this and face questions. I think that's the right thing to do in the circumstances as they now are, because I think there is a growing feeling that this decision wasn't properly made.
He only changed his mind once he realised that campaigning on a position of welcoming Shamima back to Starmer's Britain was unpalatable.
In 2019, you said stripping her of her British citizenship was the wrong decision. She's lost her appeal to regain it. Should she be allowed to appeal again? Should she be allowed back here in order to face justice in the UK?
I think the court decision yesterday is the right decision.
But now he's in power, we know that Starmer's word is meaningless, so it's time to get very worried. Begum's lawyer, Tasnimi Akinji, has told the Daily Telegraph today that the hopes of her returning to the UK are bolstered by the fall of Bashar al-Assad. Watch this space, he boasted to the newspaper. Aged 25 and regretting her decision to flee the UK to join the Manchester Arena concert bombers of Islamic State now that she's languishing in a camp in northeastern Syria where all three of her godforsaken poor young babies died, Shamima has transformed into a Western-looking woman. But I know from my own conversations with those who have got close to Shamima, as close as you can to a woman like that it's all a sham designed to trick us. This is the real Shamima, unrepentant and arrogant.
Allowed to come home or not? You know that, do you? Okay. What are your feelings about that?
I think a lot of people should have sympathy towards me for everything I've been through. You know, when I didn't know what I was getting into when I left, and I just was hoping that maybe for the sake of me and my child, they let me come back.
Okay.
Because I can't live in this camp forever. It's not really possible.
But here's how stateless Shamima's plan works. Claim that the closure of the Roj detention camp following Assad's overthrow puts her life in danger, allowing her to make a fresh appeal under human rights laws. But unbelievably, Begum will soon not be our biggest problem out of the new Syria, with fears that 20 British jihadists and 20 jihadi brides, as well as their 40 children, could soon be on the way back to the UK. The bleeding hearts Starmer looks to are already calling for just that. Dan Dolan, the Deputy Executive Director of human rights charity Reprieve, said today, "It is more urgent than ever to repatriate the British families imprisoned without charge in northeast Syria." These are not innocent British families, for God's sake. Mummy and Daddy wanted to destroy us, to literally blow us up. And with our security at threat more than ever before, I've never felt more despondent to have Starmer in number 10. A man who cares more about jailing patriots who sent an impertinent post on X or Facebook after the Southport massacre than protecting our borders from known enemies who have already betrayed us. But now, the uncancelled interview. And today, I am absolutely delighted to be joined by the financial economist, defence expert, author, political commentator, former MEP for UKIP, and now, believe it or not, YouTuber. He's doing brilliant stuff online, Godfrey Bloom. Godfrey, so great to have you here. You're obviously a defence expert. How worried should we be that all of these jihadists might use the fall of Assad in Syria to engineer a return to our shores?
Well, I'm worried, but I don't know that I've... by the way, thanks for inviting me down, I should say, to be polite.
Great to have you.
Thank you very much indeed. But I was worried up to now because we know that they're pouring into the country anyway. And they were pouring into the country under the last government. We don't know who they are, how many of them are jihadists. They come in boats, we don't have a clue, and they're being spread around the country in hotels. And some of them have been quite upfront about how they hate this country's system, and they are religious zealots. But then we mustn't be surprised when we look at Keir Starmer, who has really hated this country all his life. So we have a prime minister who hates his country. And I sometimes wonder how these people climb the greasy pole of politics. It's quite clear that this government don't like this country or its institutions or its people. And the last one wasn't that much better, let's be brutally frank. If you look at the immigration statistics under Sunak and his predecessors, it seems to me that nobody likes this country who is in politics. So you find if you are an old-fashioned patriot, and I use that word because I am one, it's pretty obvious I am one, it seems to me that that's passed out of fashion in our political life, and I think that's a great shame.
But Godfrey, it's more than a great shame, isn't it? It's chilling, it's terrifying, it's sinister. Starmer hasn't even tried to hide it. He said that he preferred Davos to Westminster. But first, you know how I often talk about the need for free speech to be protected? But I've increasingly been thinking of the need for personal protection online from snoopers, bad actors, and hackers. And I'm delighted to tell you I have found the fail-safe solution. But what's more, this VPN is also a life changer when it comes to providing you entertainment and information from anywhere in the world, wherever you are. So let me introduce you to Surfshark. This has changed my life, actually. It is an incredible and easy to use service that encrypts all your internet traffic, meaning your online activity stays safe so you can shop, stream, browse, and conduct your banking online in complete privacy as if you're in any country. But the benefits of Surfshark actually go beyond keeping you safe. This is an entertainment tool. You can access all your favorite channels or news shows or news channels from anywhere in the world, wherever you are, including, by the way, the big streaming services. So Hulu, iPlayer, HBO Max, Peacock, Amazon Prime, the different regional variations of Netflix and Disney Plus. Within seconds, you're watching as if you're in another country. For sport, it's amazing as well. If you're away, but the rights are only available to be watched by people in the UK, you just change your location. And this is an insurance policy too, because there is creeping censorship in lots of countries. I always point to the fact that France, if you're in France now, you can't watch Rumble. So this gives you the opportunity to watch anything, anytime, anywhere, true freedom. A VPN can also save you money because you can change your location for websites that alter their prices depending on where you are buying from, including airfares and sales and that sort of thing. But there are other benefits too. Surfshark gives you the option for unlimited devices, very helpful for me. I'm one of those annoying two-phone people, but also you can use it for your entire household too, with just one subscription. There are over 3,200 servers in over 100 countries, meaning there's a world of choice at your fingertips, plus 24/7 customer service. Especially helpful if it is your first time using a VPN, and if it is, my goodness, you need one of these. So go to surfshark.com/outspoken for an extra 4 months of Surfshark at an unbeatable price. What's more, Surfshark's so confident that it's the best VPN in the world that you can give it a try for a full 30 days. And if you're not entirely satisfied, you will get your money back. So www.surfshark.com/outspoken for an extra 4 months of Surfshark at an unbeatable price, or you can just click on the link in the description box below. That's easier. But now, back to the show.
I picked up on that as soon as he said it. And of course, that was an interview with Emily No Mates. And it should
I love that.
And nobody picked up on it as quickly as they should. And of course, the second question from good old Emily, don't we love the BBC? It should have been, well, why are you striving so hard to get into Parliament when you obviously don't give a shit about it? You think it's all here in Davos. Why would people give you their support in order to get into their Parliament, which is hundreds and hundreds of years old? And it's the linchpin of our democratic society. That question wasn't asked. And neither you nor I, nor most of the watchers of your channel will be surprised at that.
I know. It's truly worrying. It's truly worrying. Do you have any hope, Godfrey, that Trump and Trump's election might shift the Overton window a bit, might change the geopolitical outlook?
I'm not too sure. I'm not comfortable with his lineup. He's got some good people. Trump has brought some good people on board, and that's interesting as well. But as when it comes to the, if you will, pro-war Washington neocons, I don't think he's cleaned out the stables properly yet by this alignment. I was hoping he would be a little bit more radical.
Yeah. I mean, he's certainly been more radical than 2016. But not enough, you think?
Well, of course, there's one thing with Trump is that you can't always, what he says and what he actually then does aren't always the same thing. Sometimes he says good things and does bad things, and sometimes he says bad things and does good things, and we're not going to know until he's in power. But of course, this is true of democratic politics. We've seen that in Italy, haven't we? Where the prime minister there came in talking a very good story and then abandoned all her positions. So we saw that in Italy. We've seen it in this country when we saw a firm hand on immigration from the Conservative Party, who did exactly the opposite. It seems to me, what I don't understand, it's a failing, I think, in representative democracies, that people can say what they like to get elected, and then when they're elected, they can go back on it. I tell you what I'd like to see, Dan. I would like to see a political party manifesto set in law. So there would be a legal position if they stood on one thing, if they stood on one policy or a series of policies, and they then abandoned them within almost months, that they would then be legally liable, as in contract law. I don't actually believe that you need new law, just contract law under the law of the land, under common law and statute law and commercial law. So really now, of course, the country should be suing the socks off Starmer, taking his house, and we should take his car, and we should take his natty suits, and we should do the same to predecessors. I'd like to root out the Conservatives who did the same thing. So, yeah, there are things that we can do. It seems to be that we don't do them. One of the big problems we have, and nobody knows better than you, Dan, is that we do not have a free press. We no longer have a free press. The newspapers are all run by the same people. They're edited by the same people. And television is run by the same people. So there's no voice. And of course, most political views in the country, if you say, and arguably you might argue, 80% of people in this country believe whatever propaganda is pushed down their throat. They watch the BBC, they watch Sky TV, they only pay half attention, they don't really listen to anything. Most don't engage with politics at all. That's particularly true in local government, but it's also true of elections. That was a pitiful turnout, the worst since 1926, I think it was. So people don't engage in politics, which is why the Mayor of London keeps on getting returned, only 30% turnout. So really, these people bring it on themselves. But I must say one thing in their defense, because I have been one by and by. if you believe none of the above, if you believe every damn jack of them are scoundrels, you don't vote for the least worst. Stay at home. And that's what I've done. And I have been advocating for many years there should be a formal counted box, not a spoilt vote, none of the above. It should be at the top of the thing, none, or at the bottom of the thing, none of the above, and you can put your cross by it. And I can tell you what, and I'm sure you and your viewers would agree to this, you would find the massive majority of people put a cross by none of the above.
It would become the biggest movement in British political history, I'm sure. Godfrey, we've got the live poll running on the live chat on YouTube. I just want to bring you the results. I'm asking today, what punishment does Shamima Begum deserve? I think you'll find the results fascinating, Godfrey. No one wants her back. Just 3% of our viewers saying a limited jail sentence in the UK. 5% saying a life jail sentence in the UK. 17% saying the death penalty. But 76% of Outspoken viewers saying stay in Syria forever. Do you understand that position?
Yes, I do. I don't know why she'd come. The first thing she does when she gets here, if she's brought back, is get on welfare and suck at my taxes and everybody else's taxes. She made her bed, she must lie in it. She must stay where she is. More fool her. I'm fed up with all these people. No, sorry. You stay where you are, sweetheart.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go wherever you are.